Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the first dispatch from LA Dodger Report for 2019. Well, we're already starting off with a doozy. Less than 24 hours into their first day of spring training, the Dodgers already have a controversy. And what is this controversy? Chris Woodward, ex-third base coach of the Dodgers, newly hired manager for the Texas Rangers, has stirred the pot. Here's what happened. On Woodward and the Rangers' first day of spring training, Woodward was being interviewed and was asked about the makeup, the chemistry of his new team. Here's what he had to say, and I quote, referring to the Dodgers. 2 years in a row, we had a World Series contending team. And this team, the Rangers, is tighter. It's not even close. He said in addition to that they care more about each other. They care more for each other over in the Texas organization. Well, the first thought that might arise is, how does Woodward know? He's brand new. He just got hired in November. Was he having meetings with the players? Spring training barely opened. Did he already figure out just how tight his squad is just by seeing only the pitchers and catchers? Here's what I have to say about that. That's not the important part of the story. Who cares about the Texas Rangers? I don't know whether or not Chris Woodward knows a lot about the Rangers, but I'll tell you what, he does know a lot about the Dodgers. And he knows about them from two sides of the management table. As a third base coach, as being on the coaching squad, he's middle management, if you will. And he's just a bit closer to the players than higher management and the front office. So he's got the ear of players that higher levels of management might not have. And on the other hand, being in management, he's also got things coming into his ears that the players never hear. So he's got two sides of the Dodgers coin. Now, the Dodgers like to talk a big ball game about chemistry. Chemistry is so important for the Dodgers. Well, I'll take them at their word, but I'll also say this. No team has 100% perfect chemistry. That just doesn't happen, okay? It's not going to happen. They're human beings. And I'll give you a couple of examples here of where chemistry possibly went awry with the Dodgers over these last couple of years. Let's take Yasiel Puig, for example. Now, Puig, loved by the fans, Puig, loved by the cameras, but Puig, not always loved by his teammates, and certainly not always loved by the front office. What do I mean by that? Well, you might have heard the old story about Zach Greinke even throwing Yasiel Puig's suitcases off of the team bus. Puig has long been a lightning rod for some controversy with his teammates. Bring it fast forward to nowadays, or rather last year, because Puig is now gone. But bring fast forward, And even though Puig was improving as a player on the field and maturing a bit more, he still had plenty of antics for the camera. He played it up. He kissed his coaches. He really made himself, one could argue, a part-time spectacle. Whether you're on the Puig side of the bus or not, it was spectacular. Do you think everybody on the team loved that? Do you think all the guys went for that kind of stuff? I'm willing to bet not everybody thought it was cute every night. The other part of the Puig situation is every year Yasiel Puig had to deal with rumors. Will he be traded? The Dodgers are trying to trade him. If you're a player and you keep hearing that your team is trying to trade you, well, sooner or later you're going to catch on to the fact that you're not really wanted. That plays on an athlete's mind as well. So these are the kind of things that, what is that chemistry? Do you call that chemistry? Now, the other side of chemistry that we have is, how about the treatment of Kenta Maeda by the front office? Kenta Maeda, starting pitcher, 2 World Series in a row, relegated to the bullpen. Now, they were good moves, and they were necessary moves. But let's get this part straight. Maeda going to the bullpen in the postseason isn't quite the same as Oral Hershiser going to Tommy Lasorda and saying, put me in, Tommy. Put me in to pitch the 9th inning because I know I can get these guys and I'm the ace. That's a lot different than the situation of these Dodgers. The reason why Kenta Maeda got moved to the bullpen is because the Dodgers had a crappy bullpen. They didn't have guys that could come in and get the job done. Therefore, starting pitchers had to be shifted over. I'm pretty sure that this last year, Kenta did not volunteer to go into the bullpen, and he wasn't happy. And even if he did volunteer, he did it while biting his tongue because he wasn't exactly that happy to be taken out of the starting rotation and be more or less demoted to a bullpen that should have been strong enough to hold its own. So there's that. Finally, what about the special treatment afforded to Manny Machado last year? Now, what do I mean by that? It's well known that Manny Machado wasn't a hustler. He said it himself. I don't do hustle. But nothing came out of that, really. Visually, verbally, nothing that we could see. Hey, why is that important to me? I'll tell you why. Because things can happen behind the scenes. Players get talked to all the time that we're not privy of, and we don't have to be privy to. But this is why it's important. When Cody Bellinger didn't hustle, when it was thought that Cody Bellinger didn't hustle enough, he was benched. And that was publicly real visible to everybody, discipline. What happened when Manny Machado wouldn't hustle? Not a darn thing. 2 standards. You think everybody on the Dodgers was thrilled by that? Do you think that was great for chemistry? Now let's go right back to Chris Woodward to finish things out. Now, I don't know how much Woodward really knows about the Texas Rangers organization and their players and how close they are and whether or not they barbecue at each other's houses on the weekends. But I'll tell you this, it's really not that important because Woodward said what any smart manager would have said. He gave a straight up answer, he didn't fudge, and he said, my troops are better than those guys. it really is kind of the right answer to give and to instill confidence in your team. He believes in us. The skipper's on our side. It was played well on his side. Now, about chemistry. How important is it? How critical is it? Well, a lot of teams have won everything without being buddy-buddy. The Oakland A's have done it. The New York Yankees have done it. And they weren't all sitting in each other's laps. No. They weren't all pouring coffee for each other. They were having fist fights in the dugout and winning World Series at the same time. So while chemistry is not critical, chemistry is not a deal breaker, but chemistry does have its place. It is important for players to feel good about playing with each other and playing for each other. It is important for players to know where they stand with management and the front office. It is important for players to know that everybody's being treated the same. Remember this quote when Alex Cora's Boston Red Sox beat the Dodgers in the last World Series. I forget the player, but he was being interviewed after the World Series and was asked, one of the differences, why do you want to play so hard for this rookie manager? The big story is rookie manager wins the World Series. Why would you guys play so hard for Alex Cora? And that player said, everybody knows that we're all equals and we're all being treated equally here. We're all going to pull together and we're all going to play to win because we know where we stand, and we know where we stand is as equals. I don't know how right or wrong Chris Woodward is about the Texas Rangers, but I'll tell you this. He certainly gave the Dodgers some food for thought. For LA Dodger Report, I'll see you next time. Peace.